I love it. I love it. So, Marlee, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I mean, what better way to start an epic weekend and finally weekend with someone as awesome and badass as you? You know what I mean? Absolutely. Love it. Love it. So, welcome to the show here. And jumping straight to the interview. Here we go. So, tell me, like, where does your passion for music and acting started?
Oh gosh, everyone says this, but since I was a kid,
Okay.
I always sang. I loved being on stage in front of people, but the thing is, I actually had really terrible stage fright as a child, but I loved being in front of people so much that I would just force myself to do it, and I would be sobbing uncontrollably while trying to sing.
Yeah.
Eventually, that just started to subside, and now I can do it no problem, but it took a while.
I love it. And do you remember like that first feeling when you finished performing on stage? Like, do you remember that first feeling you got like, oh my God, it's done?
I remember my first show ending.
Okay.
Sad. I was sad to say bye to everybody, and then I immediately got cast in another show. So I kept the ball rolling.
I love it. I love it. And like, what were some of the challenges that you had when you were recently started? I mean, I think we'll have them, right? Whenever we start something, it tends to be this huge learning curve, right? But for you, what were some of those challenges that you had to overcome so you can continue moving forward?
The stage fright was a big one.
Okay.
Getting over that. Trying to balance work life and art life was a big thing. Trying to pay the bills while also what your passions are, which I know every artist struggles with. That's definitely a balancing act in life.
Okay. Yeah. And like, what are some of the things that you usually do to prepare before performing? I mean, do you have let's say like a so-called ritual, or like something you always do to kind of set your mind to start performing?
Yeah. So, for when I'm doing music shows, I have a whole routine that I go through of warm-ups and everything. I like to take my time getting ready. That's kind of like a therapeutic time for me. Same thing for acting.
Okay.
To take my time just getting ready for whatever I do. It's just very calming, kind of puts me in the right headspace when I'm not feeling rushed to get ready for anything.
Yeah.
I don't, and then same, I'll do like mouth warm-ups and stuff. But yeah, on a typical time, I like to wake up around 11, get coffee, eat breakfast, watch a TV show, and then take my time getting ready if the time allows for that. A lot of times it doesn't, but I try.
I love it. Yes. And it's so interesting that whenever you are about to perform, I mean, whenever it's like the day of performing, you tend to take it as a regular, normal day, right? In order for you to kind of assuming that, okay, that we're going to perform, everything needs to be prepared. But what I find interesting is that regardless how many times you have done it, you still, I mean, that like, does it happen to you that you will feel kind of a little bit, have butterflies in the stomach, even though that you have done it already for some time now? Like every new performance, you get that feeling again.
Acting, yes. With my band, I don't really get the butterflies anymore. I think it's because I perform so much with my band.
Yeah.
I'm excited, but I don't really get the butterflies anymore. Those have kind of subsided.
There you go. Okay. Now, like, how you usually for acting here, like how you usually prepare a character. Now you understand, of course, that depends on the role, right? But let's say that what are the first steps you always do to prepare a character?
I start with their backstory.
Okay.
A lot. Their backstory. I make sure I have their full name, their birth dates, their family, what their past traumas were. All right, all of that. I go through a script and I find moments to really delve into, moments that I'm like, why is this person doing this? Like, what made them tick? What happened past that made them want to do this. Yeah, that's about it. It's just a lot of legwork prior to doing a role. Just making sure to put in the hours.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you are in that process, what do you like? What are some of the things that you like the most when you are preparing a character?
I like discovering the character. I like discovering the little things that make them tick, the things that make them happy, make them sad. I like figuring those out. Things that I like figuring out the correlation between my life and their life and whatever connections we might actually share that I could help pull myself into that character even more. But yeah, just discovering the person that you're inside of is just really exciting.
There you go. Wow. Okay. Now let's say that one day I call you and then I tell you, hey, guess what? I'm gonna play a character. Now I don't have any experience at all. So based on what you know, what do you think that are some of the things that I need to consider first?
Get to know your character. Like I said, building a backstory. Like if you've got the script will give you all the clues. It's up to you to figure those clues out.
Okay.
You have to put the pieces together. So just doing your homework is the biggest thing.
Okay. All right. And what would you say that it could be, or like perhaps one of the reasons why either an actor or an actress might get stuck when they are in this journey, let's say, of character creation?
Sorry, can you say that one more time?
Yeah, of course. What do you think is one of the reasons why when you are in this process of character creation, you might get stuck and you don't know exactly where to go after?
A lot of times that's personal stuff getting in the way of you being able to discover what the character wants you to know.
Yeah.
We get in our own heads all the time as actors, and you second guess everything, and you're not sure if you're making the right decisions, and that kind of stuff is what builds walls up and able to truly find your character. And you know, when I feel stuck with something, I tend to just go away from the project for a little bit. I'm able to do that to try to reset my mind. I journal and try to write through whatever problem I have. I'll write music. I'll paint. Anything that's therapeutic to kind of help me get past my own issues so that I can continue working with the character.
There you go. Okay. I love it. And I mean, besides being an epic, super badass actor, you have also done some work as a producer. But tell me about that experience.
I haven't done a whole ton with producing. I've done a little bit, but I helped produce my first feature film, The Cran, which comes out in a few months, and I realized I don't really like producing very much.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a lot of logistical stuff. It's a lot, and I consider myself a pretty organized person when it comes to like my work life. But I like to just be able to play. I like the side of it where I can do my work, I can play, I can, walk away from it. And with producing, there's so much that goes into it. I have so much respect for producers because it really takes a lot of work, and it's not really something that I'm like super keen about anymore. All these decisions.
Yeah, I can understand that, of course. And you have also wrote a couple of projects here and there, but tell me, like, what usually inspired you to start writing?
The first thing I wrote was called, it's not been produced yet, but it's called High Max and Other Puzzles, and it is about my experience living in New York City when I was 18. I had some stuff happen to me while I was living there, and the whole project is based around everything that happened to me, how I dealt with it, how I'm continuing to deal with it, move forward. And then I wrote a couple short films, which were at the urgency of my business partner. He's like, you need to write more. You need to write more. Just write. Like, I cannot just sit. He can sit down and just start writing and like have like 10 stories that make no sense. But out of those 10 stories, he'll find one that's, he'll build an entire project out of it.
Yeah.
It has to like form everything at first and like get a really good idea about what I want, what I'm doing, and then I can write. And so I like writing, but again, it's not my favorite.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's challenging, of course, though. It's super challenging. Okay. Now, check this out. So, if you had to describe a film, right? But in this one, basically, it's all of the characters you have played at the moment, like all of them, since day one until right now. So it's gonna be all of those characters and yourself, so the real you, and they're gonna celebrate your birthday. Tell me, what would be the name of that film?
Trainwreck.
I love it.
I love playing characters that have a lot of flaws and not necessarily likable. So yeah, it would be a train wreck.
Trainwreck. There you go.
A lot of characters with a lot of strong personalities is what would be coming out.
Okay. I love it. Now, like, what motivates you? You know, we all have those days in which we want to quit, basically, right? But for you, what usually puts your feet back on the ground so you can continue on this journey that you have been creating for so many years now? Yeah,
it just lives in me, honestly. There's times I get really bogged down with the auditioning and the no's and not feeling like I'm in the place that I want to be with my life. But then I have to kind of step away and look up and remind myself I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing at the exact time I'm supposed to be doing it.
Yeah.
And once I get that back in my head, then I can kind of let a lot of the anxiety subside. And that usually will help me get motivated. And even just getting back on a film set, I'll go a really long time without being on a film set, and then I'll feel discouraged about acting, and then I'll get back on a film set and suddenly I'm like reignited again.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
With like my bands, sometimes I get really bogged down with doing them, and then there's other times where I just have such a good show that it just like reignites my passion.
Totally. Wow. And my last question here is, what can we expect from you in the future?
Well, my first feature film, The Crayon, is coming out in August, tentatively in August. And that's Crayon with just C-R-A-N, not like crayon. I have to specify that all the time for county. We just finished wrapping up production on another feature film called Eviscerate Me. That's going to come out next year.
Okay.
Just had a short film release called Night Spiral. You can rent it right now. It will be available for free sometime in the next month. I'm working on an EP right now. So hoping to get the ball rolling on that this year to be released next year. That's my goal, at least. And then just trying to get the budget together to get my films made that I did write, because the few that I did write I really, really love, and I think they're really good. And so I just have to, once we get the budget together, then we can get those made.
There you go. I love it. And you know what? That's gonna happen. I'm super sure that eventually everybody's gonna know about you. You know, at some point, hear me out. At some point, the next problem might be where to put all of those awards you have on the wall. Hear me that. That's gonna happen, because one of the cool things that I love about actors, musicians, is the fact that you guys took a risk. You know, that you went outside of what I call the typical suicidal box, basically, and you basically create your own road. You know, and of course that during the creation of that road, it's challenging, it's tough. It can get you to a very awful place sometimes here and there. But the fact that you are making things happen and you are proving that it is possible and you're having results to it, I think that is proof enough of those who are not trying to be like, it's okay. You know, I'm alive, I'm doing it, here are the results, you can do it too.
Yeah.
So that is super inspiring, and I'm super sure that, and also the fact that you like it, you know, as simple as it may sound, we all know that sometimes it might even take decades for you to finally either get the courage or finding something that really makes you happy,
Right.
something that you want to do. So keep doing what you do. It is awesome. I love it. I mean, I'm definitely super in love with your career here. And it's more than obvious that eventually everybody's going to know about you. That's going to happen. Hear me on that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Also, I want to thank those who are watching this right now, either later here on Instagram, later on YouTube, or if you are, on the way to work, walking with the dog, or just listening to this amazing episode, make sure to follow Marlee. I mean, normally what I would say is for you to put pause, then go follow her, and let's make her viral. I mean, she deserves it. Hashtag Team Marlee. She's awesome. She's badass. And before I send you off, if you have seen some of my episodes before, you know exactly what I'm about to do. But if not, I'll love it because then I can surprise you. So. Love it. I promise that one day we're gonna have live audience, but in the meantime we're still working on that. But again, thank you so much for making this happen. Have an epic weekend. And I mean you deserve all of the epicness around because you're definitely inspiring people and you're showing us that dreams come true. And I love that. So keep pushing.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. It was nice talking with you.
Same you, okay? Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.